All right, welcome back everyone. So this video is going to be for the legs. So again, I made my reference image here visible again. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in on the legs and let's take a look. So you can see these are the front of the legs. These could be the back of the legs, and then these longer sections here are the sides of the legs. And just remember that there's this extra flap that usually comes out. That's the part that sticks into the torso so they can actually physically attach. But imagine that there's a black line that goes straight across, and those are the dimensions of the legs. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and same thing as before. I'm going to shift right mouse click and place my 3D cursor right there in kind of the center there. Shift A, add in a cube. It comes in, it's ginormous. Tab into edit mode, S to scale. I'm going to press Option Z. Oops, I have to be in solid mode to be able to see the X-ray feature. Keep forgetting that. So again, I'll press Z, go back into solid mode, press Option or Alt Z, and that will turn on X-ray mode. X-ray mode is also up here. Okay, so now I'm going to G to grab that, and if you're wondering, how to tell your character's legs, you can see here on Indiana Jones here, these are his shins, and then you can see this little curve right here. That is the front of his feet. So look for that front curve because they don't exist in the back. So these are the backs of his legs and feet, and these are the front. Okay, so I'm going to place this right about here. A twice deselect, B to box select. I'll grab this side here, G, bring it in. Something like that. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'll press Tab to go back into object mode, and you can see the dimensions over here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the X and the Y dimensions the same. So here's the X axis right here. So I'm going to take that, copy it, and then paste it here. Okay, so now we're on to UV editing. So I'm going to flip over to the UV editing tab. I'm going to rename this from cube to foot. And we'll do .r. There we go. I'll give it a new material. Call the material foot. Base color is an image texture. Choose the right image. There it is. And there's the foot. Okay, I'm going to hide the reference image. Okay, so if you ever get a little turned around, always use this little widget up here so you can figure out where your front is. So remember, my front face is positive Y, so it's going to be this face right here. So I'm going to select that face there. In the UV window, press A, G to grab, S to scale it down, rinse and repeat, and now you need to find the front here, and again look for those are the toes. So again, S to scale, G to grab, and yeah, that looks about right. so that looks good. And now I'll just go ahead and I'll do B for box select, select these bottom two, oops. Select these bottom two, G, Y, drag them up, box select, G, X, so this is a little weird in that your UVs are turned on their side, but your object is straightforward like this, so it does take a little getting used to. But as you can see over here, that looks pretty good. Okay, awesome. So now since I did the front, I'm going to go ahead and do the back. So select the back face, come over here to the UV window, A to select all, S to scale it down, G to grab it, and here is the back. You can see here, as long as I have the brown on the bottom for the shoe, I'm pretty good to go. So B to box select, select these bottom two, and there we go. Okay, I'll finish up the other two sides, the top and the bottom, and we'll be done. Okay, so here we are. For the top, I just scaled that down and put it right over here over his pant leg color, the letter color, and then for the very bottom, that's just the brown, and I just grabbed some of the brown from the back of his torso there. Okay, so I'm going to press tab and go back into object mode, and that is leg or foot number 1. I'm going to go back to the layout tab. I'm going to press Z and go back to material preview. There we go. And G to grab it, place it in hopefully the right spot. Something like that. Okay, so I'm now looking from the side view, and this is where you can decide if your character looks, if the legs look all right like that. I think they look pretty good. Okay, so then what I can do is I can go back to my front view, and I can then press Shift D, and then X to slide it on the X-axis, and I can go ahead and get a second foot there. And so I'll rename this, instead of being called foot.r.001, we'll do foot.l. So now I have a left foot and a right foot. Okay, so that is the complete character there. The only thing he's missing are his props, the whip, the idol, his gun, all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back into front view. I'm going to select all my objects, G, Z, lift them up, and have him stand right on the grid there. So it looks like he's standing on the ground. Let's save it. That's a little easier to see on the eyes. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So again, he needs his props, the little bag here. He needs his whip. He needs his gun to go somewhere, and then the idol to go somewhere. So I'll tackle that in the next video, and that will show you a technique that will allow you to model something, an object that is not a cube, so it's a unique shape. Then we'll maybe put a little ground, maybe we'll try to put him in a little environment so he looks a little cooler. And that is it. That's a basic QBCraft character. All right, thanks everyone.